Hello, and welcome to an episode of Todd Talks and Todd Talks People Listen. Hopefully. I meant to do on this side, but whatever. So today, we have a very special episode of Todd Talk because I will be discussing Death Battles Season 8, the 10th anniversary season as a whole, and then picking my top 5 Death Battles from this season. But what's that? Todd, there's something different on your body today. Why, yes, I got a new bright red sweatshirt. It has a Shazam. Oh, you mean the Death Battle shirt? Yes, I got one of the brand new Death Battle shirts. I decided to go with, I'm calling this Team Death Battle, because we got, of course, Wizard Movesick, we got Ringmaster, we got Dummy, and then, of course, the real MVP, Jocelyn the Intern. Seriously, Lisa Foyles is amazing. Everyone on Death Battle loves her, and it's not hard to see why she's really awesome. But yes, I decided to get this one to support Death Battle, and I actually got another Death Battle shirt for Christmas. So, yeah, it's gonna be, and I'll wear that next week for my predictions video for Season 9. But, yeah, I wanted to support Death Battle as much as I could, and I hope you'll do the same. Alright, so, as I said, this is a Season 8 in review because this was a special season. This was Season 8, 10th anniversary of Death Battle. I have not been here all 10 years, but I have been here for at least the last 5 or 6, I think. So it's been a fun ride. And so the thing of this year was, I'm quoting Ben here, every episode would feel like a season ender or season opener. So did they live up to that hype? Let's break it down. First up, we had Yoda versus King Mickey. Now, this was the Banned from Death Battle episode, and I really did feel that this set a tone for the season to come. Because not only was it a really cool matchup, and a really well-rendered matchup, I believe they used Source for this one, it was just a lot of fun. The voice acting was on point, the use of the powers and abilities was great, and even though this would be my first of many losses. I'm going to be writing down my losses because I forgot to do that earlier. But even though this would be my first of many losses, I did not mind because A, I hadn't played Kingdom Hearts 3, so I didn't know like the Heart Galaxy, Super Lightspeed feat, and whatever. But this was still a really fun fight. I watched this one multiple times. I definitely remember that, and I was glad to have another Kingdom Hearts character in there. Yoda was a great addition, and this just was the matchup. This was the matchup for these two to have. So even though it was an L, it was worth it. So yeah. Second, we had Shadow versus Ryuko, Agamika kill. This one was fine. This is the next one which I'll be heavily criticizing. These are the ones that I felt were, kind of broke the idea of, oh, this is a season over, season ender kind of thing. It didn't feel that way. We've had Shadow in Death Battle twice before, in which you could say, yeah, that makes him a legacy character, but it didn't feel right. And Ryuko just didn't feel big enough, I suppose. So I won that one, and I was glad. But a lot of people were mad that Shadow didn't say sayonara, But what are you gonna do? All right, this is my hands down my least favorite episode of the season. I know I get a lot of flack for this, especially since it's Boomstick's favorite episode, Chad James. Lex Luthor versus Doctor Doom. Oh, I hate this episode. The fight was fine. The breakdown was fine. I hate it because I got tricked into thinking that Apex Lex was going to be in the death battle. And after researching Apex Lex, I really thought that he had a chance against Doctor Doom. I knew that Doctor Doom was going to win before that. I mean, I was literally about to make the video and like, oh yeah, Doctor Doom's got this. He could beat Darth Vader, and I would argue he could beat Superman. So why couldn't he beat Lex Luthor? And then I see the graphic for the song, and it says it's Apex of Doom, which is a reference to the Apex Lex Legion of Doom arc from the recent comics by Scott Snyder. And I was like, oh, I got to research Apex Lex then. And I did, and I thought, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, he can. And so another theme of this season, I put my faith in the wrong character. I didn't put my faith in Yoda. That one I legit thought he would overpower Mickey. This one was, I have faith that Lex in Apex Lex form could be Dr. Doom. I was wrong, and that was an L. All right, next up, this one was, I think, an underrated gem. Heihachi Mishima versus Geese Howard. This was, a battle of video game, or sorry, fighting game bosses. Something we're going to see a little bit later in the show. And what the reason I liked this one was because this felt more like brutal martial arts, especially compared to the one we'll get to later. Yes, they had special abilities. Heihachi could electrify his fists, and uh, Geese Howard had the Hakyoku Seiken. It's funny that I can just say that without missing a beat. No, the Hakyoku Seiken. So yeah, it was fun, but I just in the voice acting, having Heihachi be speaking his native tongue of Japanese because he's only spoken English in the like the dubs or the live action movie, which actually wasn't as bad as probably you might think. But anyway, so and of course, predictable. That was great. Or even just the ending, show's over. That was really fun. And I picked Heihachi, so that is a win. All right, next up we had Blake Mikasa. Okay, this one's tricky, and I actually got some behind the scenes information on this one because I felt this one, while stunning in certain elements, kind of tripped over its own feet, if you will, on others. The reason I say this is that visually it was fine, especially when they were doing all the aerial. This whole battle was based on the fact that both Blake and Mikasa could do basically aerial acrobatics in ways that all the other fighters literally could not do. Not even Batman could do it to this level. Um, and so that was the fun. Is like, we're gonna have this as an aerial battle with the swords and the gamble shroud and blah blah blah. At times it just didn't feel fluid. I don't know if it was because of the team or the models, but like there was a shot where Mikasa's basically doing like the T pose as she's walking along. I'm just like, what is that? It felt like there was some like frame rate glitches, and then of course the big one for me was that Blake didn't really talk. I thought it was just because they were trying to adhere to how she's much more of a silent character most of the time, but apparently, and I found this out on the Discord server, they couldn't get her VA for whatever reason. I think it was because of the pandemic. I don't know, but so they literally used clips from Ruby so that Blake would say at least something. That's why she only said "leave me alone" and then "incoming" at the end, which everyone thought was odd because okay. So it was a fine enough fight, and I picked Blake, so I win. All right, this was another underrated fight, I think. Iron Fist versus Poe, the Kung Fu Panda. Why was this underrated? Because A, this was a match you probably didn't see coming. This was one where I felt like, if you want to talk about true surprise matchups, Yoda Mickey was one, and Iron Fist versus Poe is another great example. Um, this was just a fun fight. I mean, it's insane. We're putting a Marvel character against a Jack Black voiced character. This should not be happening. But they're both dragon warriors, kung fu or martial arts masters, both wield overwhelming power, and this was one of the surprises for me where I was like, there's no way my Iron Fist is gonna lose. And then I actually dove into what Poe could do, and I'm like, I think Poe has this. And this was one where my faith was actually rewarded. And then their voice actor for Poe was absolutely great. He totally did an awesome Jack Black impersonation. And then going from the jokes like about the wishy finger hold. It's like, oh, you know what it's hold? No. Oh, wait, you're going. Get it. Okay. That's time for sure. That was funny. Going to the afterlife and using their various dragon forms. That was really fun. So this one was underrated. This one almost made my top 5. It got beaten out by one I've already talked about, but this would have been like, this is my honorable mention. This was a fun fight. They did a great job on it, and this was cool. Next up, Steven Universe versus Star Butterfly. Oh, gosh. Again, my faith is not rewarded. All right, I had never watched Steven Universe or Star versus the Forces of Evil. I knew about them from various things, including people talking about it. I got depressed like researching this thing. Okay, like legit, I was like, what is this madness? Like, not even in the Popeye the Sailor Man, he can punch things and they turn into other things. This was like legit depressing. They were dealing with mental health. Star Butterfly wiped out all magical creatures because she wanted to get rid of magic for good because she thought it was the root of all evil. But doesn't that make her evil because she made a genocide? I don't know. All right, it's like, that's a Disney cartoon. And Steven Universe with his whole, repressed feelings about his mother, and then, there's relationship issues, and like both of them had terrible endings. Like every fan of the shows admit that they had terrible endings. So I was just like, okay, who's better? And I misinterpreted Star's feats in her book, especially like the planet busting laser. So like, okay, and the fight was fun. Don't get me wrong, the fight was fun, and they made you think, multiple things. And it was actually the birth of Liam Swan as the a regular voice actor in Death Battle, which would of course be punctuated later in the season. But never surrender. But yeah, I misinterpreted, and mainly because I didn't really know Star Butterfly that well, and I lost. Yeah, I lost. All right, next up, mid-season finale. Blink versus Cloud 2. Yeah, baby, this was a great one. And yes, I know I lost. I will maintain that I think Link still should have won because they didn't include his fairies in the Four Sword ability, or just fairies in general. If you really think about it, they only include Mipha's Grace. But this fight was so worth it. Much like Yoda Mickey, I just realized I've lost 2 of the 3 3D fights. That's depressing. But Link vs. Cloud was so worth it. The use of I think they said it was like a mix of Blender and other things. A lot of fun. The references to everything, from the pot smashing to, I guess, falling off the cliff was a reference to Breath of the Wild, to the bike fight. Of course, in the tunnel, which is of course Final Fantasy reference. Using the ocarina, the Skyward Strike, and now's your chance, and Fierce Deity Mask, and such a good fight. And in fact, it's such a good fight that I put it on something that I'll be talking about a little bit later. But it was really good. It was a really good fight. I lost. I should have known, I suppose, but sometimes it's not even about faith, it's about loyalty. And I am loyal to Nintendo and Link above all else. And until I know for certain, and again, I thought the fairies with 99 fairies, could Cloud kill him 99 times before Link kills him one? I don't really know. So if I had the chance to talk to the Death Battle crew again, I would ask them that question. But that fight was so good. And shout out to Brandon Yates for the song Final Breath. So good. So good. But yeah, that one actually tied me up at 4-4 for that one. And then we go into the back half where we start with Batman versus Iron Man. Yeah, that was an L. Again, faith, Alfred, faith. Snyder Cut reference. I had faith in Batman's suits and, the Hellbat and the final bat. And then they're like, oh, but Iron Man can summon all the suits and, he can use the microscopic suit. I still hate that they said that Batman's suit could be hacked. I do not buy that at all. All right. I mean, especially since the Hellbat was made in part by Cyborg, who is a literal hacking entity. You tell me he couldn't make it so the suit was hack proof. Anyway, the other parts I was fine with, the army of suits, the God Killer, the micro suit, and blah blah blah. I was seriously ticked though at the end with the whole no more suits, Tony, just you and me. And then he pulls out one more suit. Mean. All right, next up, this is a fun one. Goku Black versus Reverse Flash. I didn't realize this was a matchup a lot of people wanted. I could see why now, and I literally just gotten done with the Dragon Ball Super at the time. So, I think. I don't remember now. But yeah, Goku Black, was, a very fun spin on the Dark Mirror idea, and then Reverse Flash is just nuts. Also, kid you not, in the Flash TV series, which aired after, or sorry, which eighth season started after this fight. They did a reference to the Reverse Flash origin story, and even the idea of him going back and screwing with Barry's life on the microscopic level, and it was actually really good until it wasn't. This fight was better than that Armageddon crossover. Fight me, bro. Anyway, this was a fun fight. Just the insanity of the time travel, the over-the-top personalities of Goku Black and Reverse Flash, and whatnot. It was a lot of fun. And this one also could have probably gotten on my list. But everyone knew that Reverse Flash was going to win this. So, yeah. All right. 150th episode. Macho Man Randy Savage versus the Kool-Aid Man. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. All right, feel my voice going. This one was tricky. I'm cheating and saying that I won because I technically did. I said in the video, and I rewatched this. I said if this was a real battle, then the Kool-Aid Man would obviously win. But I didn't think it was going to be a real battle. I thought that this, partially unlike the season finale, would be a joke episode. So I thought, oh, they're not going to have an actual winner, but they did. So since it was a real battle, and I called the Kool-Aid Man, I win. But this fight was so crazy. Macho Man doing the elbow from space, and them using like Dexter's Laboratory in his fight with Spider-Man, even though those Bonesaw is great. Yeah. It was it was something. It was something, and then the whole Boomstick's father storyline and all of that. And if you really think about it, that episode is the reason for this shirt, because they brought in every main character, from Jocelyn to Dummy to Ringmaster to Deadpool, to remind us of like how far Death Battle has come. So yeah, it was a fun episode. It is the only episode since season 1 to not reach 1,000,000 views yet. I think it's getting closer to 900,000, so it'll get there eventually. But this is by far the lowest watched Death Battle episode in history, or not history, recent history, I should say. Yeah, but but why? It's like it is a little niche, and it wasn't exactly a true death battle technically, so I can see why some people were turned off by it. But you should still go watch it. All right, next one. Oh, God. Dio versus Alucard. Yes, I know. I picked Alucard. 3 million lives. Schrodinger. He can't lose. I was wrong. A lot of people were wrong. I know a lot of people who are still bitter about this one, and a certain other one that we'll get to later. Gosh dang it, Dio. Dio! All right, I'm still bitter about this one. I mean, did I get why they said he won? Yes, but they also at times made it seem like Alucard was an idiot, including with Level 0. And there are some fans who have reaffirmed that Alucard cannot go to Level 0 without permission. Everyone's saying like, oh, it's not really a thing he can do on his own, or he could do it on his own. No, he can't. It was found in the lore, like a panel from the manga or whatever, the data book or whatever. And he can't go. So like them saying he can go Level 0 on his own is totally inaccurate. So it would take Dio a freaking long time to kill Alucard. I also think that they misrepresented the illusion feats of Alucard as well as the hypnotism, because they said, hey, they can hypnotize each other on a glance. So couldn't Alucard do that on Dio, especially when he realizes that this guy is doing things he can't, like the time stop? I don't know. The fight though was breathtaking. It was the best 2D fight of this year. I'm sorry. Like, if you want to fight me on that, you can. I know that modern Eisen fans might be saying something about it, but this one's just better. All right, from the way they did the blood in the streets to going like from 2D to 3D to I'm a real vampire, line. That was just great. It was a lot of fun. Even just the ending with like the blood rain, it was a lot of fun. And even though I lost this fight, and I still have feelings about this fight, ladies and gentlemen, I maintain that it was a really good fight. So yeah. All right, next up was Akuma versus Shao Kahn. I was not expecting this fight. It makes sense now that I think about it. If you recall, I had, from my Season 8 prediction video, I said Akuma would be here. I thought he would fight Liu Kang. And it did say Oni or Shinakuma. But I thought that, hey, why not go, full tilt and having a Fire God Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat 11 versus, Oni Akuma. Or, sorry, Oni Akuma. And we didn't get that, but this fight was fine. I think this one was a little disappointing in the 3D market. The Shao Kahn voice felt off. A lot of people said that. He didn't feel right. He didn't have that level of menace. Akuma was fine. Shao Kahn not so much. And it just felt like it wasn't enough. Like these are the final bosses of 2 respected fighting games, and I don't know, it just felt like it lost the impact. And then the final blow was just a hammer strike, and it wasn't even framed the best way, in my opinion. It was like wham, flawless victory. You have a hole in your chest. How is that flawless? It just didn't feel the same. But I was right, and I picked Shao Kahn, so I win. Next up, we have Okay, I think a lot of people are ragging on this fight, and I don't get why. It's Cora versus Storm. A correct prediction, for the record, from my Season 8 prediction video. I said I wanted Cora versus Storm. I got Cora versus Storm. I'm awesome. So, I love this fight. I love this fight. It's not my top 5, but I thought this was a fine fight. Was it a stomp? Absolutely. But did I care? No, I did not. And remember, like, most of these fights were stomp. Like Doom, Blake Mikasa, Butterfly Stevens. I mean, that's definitely a stomp. Dio Card, Akuma Shao Kahn. That was definitely a stomp. And then the season finale, obviously. But, like, this was a fun fight. And everyone's like, but they made it seem like it was very even in the battle. Well, yeah. Again, this is a visual representation of what could happen. Did you really expect Storm just to, blow her head off in the first punch? One punch? One punch? No. I liked how they did it with the elements, and this was a true sequel of sorts to Aang versus Edward Elric from 2 seasons back. Yeah, 2 seasons back. And I thought that was fine. I thought it was a great episode, and yeah, Storm won. I called that. Oh yeah. So yeah, it all was right in the world. Until Madara Aizen. Oh, faith! I had faith, ladies and gentlemen. I had it. Yes, Madara won, and much like Dio Card, there are still people defending Aizen. I kid you not. I was on the Death Battle Discord today, and before making my video, and there were people still defending Aizen and saying that they nerfed him, and that the Death Battle cast for that Q&A for that Death Battle just came out today on the Death Battle cast, and so they won't answer every question because there's like 1,000 questions about how Aizen lost. I can understand some of them. I will still respect Death Battle's decision. It says Madara wins, especially in regards to the Genjutsu. But there are questions. There are questions. So yeah, that was a loss. That was a loss. And finally, with a win to end the season, I had a loss to start the season. I had a win to end the season. Saitama versus Popeye. The matchup no one saw coming, or no one serious saw coming, because we all thought, oh, it's Galactus Unicron. No. It's Saitama Popeye, and this I have actually watched this fight a lot recently, and much like Might Guy versus All Might, or All Might versus Might Guy, I've loved this episode and the battle, the insanity of it all, going from hand drawn 2D, which is actually really really cool, to the sprite fight, which I think that's one of my favorite moments is when they go like old school with the sound. That was really cool. And then going back to hand drawn, then the Devil Artemis 3D section with and that was a fan made model for the record. It was a fan made like what would Popeye look in 3D. That's what they got. And then the boo death spinach. That was totally Devil Artemis, and that was really awesome. And then as Ben noted in the Death Battle cast, I think it was the commentary. The Saitama, is this for real? Is this a serious fight? Thank you, strange spinach mascot. They did that because every shonen protagonist, or just anime protagonist, has that moment where they reach that new power level. And Ben wanted to do that, and then he just totally loses. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Boop, boop. Yeah. So yeah, pick Popeye. That's a win. So let's count it up. All right, I was at 8. I was at 4 and 4 for by Link Cloud. So let's see. 4 and 5, 5 and 5, 6 and 5, 6 and 6, 7 and 6, 8 and 6, 8 and 7, 9 and 7. So yes, I have made it to the win column, ladies and gentlemen. Out of 16 fights, I won 9 of them. I lost 7 of them. I honestly should have at least 10 because of Lex Doom. I would give myself the win on that one. Dang, I should have done the whole contingency. And some of them I will still fight to this day. But 9 and 7, I did not have a tied record. I did not have a losing record, and I will take that. And I will work even harder to try and make sure that I do better next time. Will I? Who knows anymore. But I will try. I will try. Yeah. All right. So, what are my top 5 death battles of season 8? I say with 5 minutes to go before I didn't want this to be 30 minutes, and I'm already 25. Number 5, Yoda Mickey. I like this fight. I liked how it was framed. I like how they showed the resolve of both characters. It was just a lot of fun. Number 4, Heihachi Geese. Yeah, this was my surprise pick. I just love the physicality of it and the back and forth and between Heihachi and Geese. You know, it was a lot of fun. And the ending, you're like, oh my gosh, is Geese gonna win? Then Heihachi throws him into the lava or power punches him spears him into the rock. Gets burned alive. It was great. Number 3, Dio card. Not a hard pick. So beautiful use of 2D and 3D. It was a lot of fun. Number 2, Saitama Popeye. Also not a surprise. Loved it. It was so good. The blending of animation styles. That was a worthy legacy fight to end the 8th season. And of course, number 1 is Steven Universe versus Star. I kid. It's Link versus Cloud 2. I can't not put that at number 1. I loved it that much. I'm smiling just thinking about it. The music, the sound. Oh, sorry, the music and soundtrack. The music, the visuals, the beats of it all. Let's mosey Ackhole. Rock on. I lost that fight, but I don't care. It was a match. It was the fight they deserved to settle it once and for all. So yeah, season 8 is now done, but I still need your help. All right, in the comments below is a link to a website I work for called The Outer Haven. I made my top 10 death battles of all time, all 8 seasons. All right, I picked my top 10 death battles. There's 158, 59-ish of them. I had to boil it down to 10. It was hard, okay? And there is a participant from this season in here. It shouldn't be that hard to guess which one. But what are the other 9? Go check the link and find out. And then, if you like it, please comment on the article or comment here after you look at my list. And then please spread it around. I am trying to get the Death Battle team to look at it, see what they think. And I would really appreciate your support. And then next week, not only will I be debuting my other Death Battle t-shirt, but I will be doing my Season 9 predictions based on what we know from the teaser image and what I personally would like to see. So stay tuned for that. And then after that, I will be going on hiatus until Death Battle returns in March. But hey, we still got one more to go. So if you have ideas for what you want to see in Season 9, not based on the teaser, let me know in the comments below. And if the ones that I really like the best, I will definitely mention them next episode. So with that, I'm ending this episode of Todd Talk. What did you think of Death Battle Season 8 as a whole? What were your top 5? And again, what did you think of my list of the top 10 death battles of all time? Let me know in the comments below. So, thank you for watching. We've made this far. I know you were listening, and I'll see you around.